Hello everyone and welcome to another painting with Baccio Collio. Today we are continuing with the Norse wolf. Hey there, Pig in Space, how are you doing? And see just how far along we can push him this time. How you doing today, Pig in Space? Oh, that's nice to hear. Enjoying the summer? Hopefully. Has been a bit weak on the streaming front, I have to admit, but as I mentioned, it is summer and well, social life sometimes tends to beckon in its own way. Why heresy sounds pretty delish. Coffee, cocoa, honey from Scotch, milk and hot water, pretty much a very nice drink, giving some energy and some power. Nothing wrong here. Have you had any chance to try out some games with your Bretonians again? Oh no, but on this front, I've seen so many weird concoctions. So. Oh, that's nice. I might join along. Oh, in real life, even better. Get a feel the middies. Well, yeah, don't we all? In one way or another. Yeah, I know exactly the situation. We're constantly exchanging stuff too, so he is the main distributor in our group. Was something I was meaning to say, but it completely flew out of my mind. Oh, that's nice. The Hungry Trolls have they just announced some Nurgle for Blood Bowl. Did you get a chance to see their warriors? I suppose it happens, but it's... Yeah, I don't think that they were ready. They were just 3D renders of the Nurgle warriors. They look pretty fine, not too repulsive in terms of design, like not too putrid or anything like that. No, not really. Not really, just another alternative. In case you wanna spice up some of the models. Yeah, I have to cut down a bit too. I've been doing well for the past couple of months, but then it's kind of lured me into Warcry. Yeah, it's not a horrible idea, I gotta say. As I mentioned, I'm trying to do the same because I have a ton of unpainted stuff anyway. Unbuilt, unpainted. I'm gonna try and get through some stuff before accumulating more plastic or metal. Certainly not to the point where I'm not delusional enough to say that I'll paint everything I have before getting new stuff, but at least some would be nice. And as I mentioned, I did slip on Warcry, so guess I'll be getting those guys as well. Yeah, you mentioned those quite a long time ago, but yeah, I remember now that you said it. Did you make a decision on them? Did you get them? Or are they... Oh, okay. They're cool minis. Yeah, pretty expensive team, gotta say. But I can't really understand why, like, they're not... Yeah. Very easy to get lost in ideas about minis and jump on the train, especially on Kickstarters. Alright, so they are in different tiers, so to speak. Yeah. No, I remember that you mentioned that they were pretty expensive and I checked them out myself, so yeah. But they're very stylistic models and they're very stylish and they would look great with paint on, so I think it'd be a good investment. If you want to have a dwarf team, that is. For some reason there has been quite a bit of hate. Nice. You can always tell the pick a painter that can do some freehand. I think. Oh, that'd be great. Funalicious, as they say. Wicked. So I'll be moving along and try to start as early as possible so I can actually get some stuff done today. Mostly I want to for sure get through the shading part. I'll just be applying some washes here, so Agrex Earth Shade, some Caraburg Crimson, and the good old-fashioned null oil. These will be the shades I'll be using on the whole surface of particular details. And if they get to dry until I get through them, I might do the final highlights on the fur. And in order to do that, I will start with shading the fur. I'll just give, even though it's a wash, it's still good to give it a nice shake. And I'm just getting it out so far away so it doesn't catch on the mic, because I fear that it'd be a rather weird sound. And get my trusty pillow. But yeah, the biker dwarves are definitely a cool team. I'll be playing around with this weird brush. I mentioned the series before, the Melons. They are very weird synthetics. I haven't seen any synthetic brushes like these. The good thing is that they're not currently on a Kickstarter, so basically you can order them whenever you feel like it, and this should give you a bit of freedom to move around. And I'll be applying it on the claws as well. Got any ideas for other teams, or mostly just keeping up with the dwarves in your mind? The succubus Amazons. Me personally, for Amazons, I've been looking into either the RN Studio one. They're a bit weirder, like post-apocalyptic Amazons, or try to cobble up something from the Nebulas. Yeah. The Nebulas for Dreadball. I'll probably go with the Nebulas, to be honest. Just because they're a bit less common models. It is, so if you go to Mantic's webpage and you go to the Dreadball part, so their futuristic version of Blood Bowl, one of their teams is called something Nebulas, which is the alternative for Amazons. And while they are painted in blue skin, with blue skin, yeah, I suppose. I can see them looking pretty decent with nice human flesh tone. Anyway, it's just something I've been thinking about. Now, regarding the painting that I'm doing here, first of all, I would like to say a few words about the brush that I'm using. As I mentioned, it is a weird type of synthetic brush, and the reason is weird is because while it's synthetic, as you can see, it's extremely soft. Let me show you like this. See, it's very soft for some reason, and with this softness comes a lot of paint absorption, and so also being a number 2 paintbrush, it can soak up quite a lot of moisture, a lot of paint as well, but it keeps the tip very nice tip. And so it's very nice for applying such diluted paints such as the shades, because you can load up the brush. Void sirens. I don't think that's what they were called. So they are blue skinned on the box art, with blue skin and red armor. So yeah, you see, I can load up a ton of water on the brush, and it still keeps the tip pointy. And I can actually have some control with my shades. Not that in this case it's particularly necessary, but I like to take the opportunities whenever I can. Yes, exactly. They look like Dark Elves, and, well, considering they all have dodge, I think it might make some sense. I should try and convert some of them to... Oh, thanks. It's cool that you like them. I suppose they will be my Amazon proxies at some point. I've been looking into quite a few of the Mantic teams for Dreadball with ideas of conversions. I think I already mentioned the Veerman, so the Skaven alternative. And I will mix and match them with the GW ones. Through conversion, most likely. However, I haven't gotten them yet. These are all just things floating in my head for now. Yeah, definitely. Conversions will be required on the Nebulas to make the positional stick out. Another reason I liked the Mantic models is that the boxes are pretty cheap. And they are a great source for bits. Source of bits. Oh, you mean I can combine the two? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. I haven't thought of that. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks for the tip. I haven't thought of it. Cool. That'll save me some time with converting them, and at the same time will give me more poses because they're different models.
Otherwise, I had to get 2 boxes of them and essentially just do miracle work. Get them to stand out. I'm thinning the wash with quite a bit of water because I don't want very deep tar-like delineation. I won't, even if it pulls, I don't want it to look super gross and look dirty in some way. I'm trying to give, even though they are Norse, trying to give them a cleaner look from a technical execution point of view. So like these pulls here, I don't like. Because when they dry, they look, again, dirty, sloppy. And while I'm not a crisp painter by any stretch. Indeed. It is quite cheap, and they're pretty decent for what they are. With a little bit of work, they can be pretty good. And they offer a bit of variety that I doubt will be seen on most Blood Bowl pitches. Yeah, they're the same scale. Should be anyway. Haven't really seen any live ever. I don't know. I'll let you pose that question. They came out before the 2016 Blood Bowl edition, so I suppose they would be 28s. But seeing as how I will be using them for Amazons and Skaven, I don't think it'll be a problem if they are a bit smaller in scale. Anyway, I'll check them out. It's just an idea that has been going through my head lately, well, for a while, but I'm getting quite a bit ahead of myself, considering everything I have to do before I even start to think about new teams. Yeah, I think that the only company that actually produces, the only company that produces the heroic scale, oh thanks, appreciate it, is GW and maybe some of the older casters, like maybe Impact or something like that. They are the only ones that still make heroic scale. Most have transitioned into true scale, which is great on paper, but to tell you the truth, they are quite a bit more difficult to paint, and especially the faces and the eyes in true scale. If you make a bit of a mistake and you don't get them perfect, they look horrible, they look very weird. Whereas in heroic scale you can allow a bit of sloppiness there. You can be not as 100% perfect as you need, and they still look... Okay, good, good. But I'm going to try and restrain myself from doing so. At least until we come back from the World Cup. Then I might do some splurging. And I won't probably be ordering them from Mantic's website. I suppose you have, yeah. Still, if I lose to the consumer in me and go to make an order, I'll let you know. Which one's caught your eye? For yourself, that is. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I think that there is potential to include quite a bit of them. Either as particular, as you say, as star players, or particular positionals that you want to stick out. Yeah, that's if they have spring-loaded boots, like the live-action Super Mario movie. Have you ever had the chance to watch that one, where they get the spring-loaded boots to jump around? And it would be a fairly simple conversion to do, with a piece of wire and some plywood. Yeah, but because of the leap, you can make some additional, like, hydraulics or something to add to the lower parts of, to the calves, going down to the ankles. I've seen such things done with Necrons and they look pretty good. So it would be a nice representation of their I was gonna say extraordinary, but their common skills. Well, very long legs, is it? No, just modifications to the Necrons. Someone wanted to do them as RoboCop going out of the cop car. If you remember, he had this weird hydraulic thing just on the calf and in the ankle, and someone just wanted to make it a bit more spicy, just add a couple of those, and it looked good. And he had a picture step-by-step tutorial how he made them, and it looked simple enough, so you don't need to be a massively adept sculptor to build them. As a matter of fact, he used simple props, like I said, a piece of wire and some little bits of plastic. But it would make sense to do them as jumping apparatus or something. Oh, it was very long ago. It was just something I noticed on Facebook. I don't think I'll be able to dig it out. Can't even remember which of the groups it was. But I can check after all and see, or something similar at least. Give you a rough idea. Another bonus for diluting the wash is that the water evaporates quicker, and so it dries out quicker. I don't have to wait for it forever. As washes out of the pot tend to dry slower. And I think that we're about done with the agrax. I'm just gonna go over the claws again. I will use undiluted wash because they are smaller and for some reason they are not catching the paint right. I have to tint them darker if I want the highlights to pop out. Yeah, that's not gonna look very good. Not gonna lie. I'll just go over these nail claws as well. Yeah, this brush has some use. Like, it would be great for pin washing. And since I will be doing some pin washing at a later stage, I wanted to use the opportunity to get used to it a little bit, because I haven't been using this brush much. But I really liked how that series worked. Only problem is that it's one of these brushes that come with a lead hair, meaning that there is one hair in the middle that just sticks out. So you kind of have to butcher the brush and take it off. But I have done it, and the brush didn't fray, it didn't split, so I suppose it's fine. I did get some info on Etanif's paint scheme for his undead team for the World Cup, and If he manages to pull it off, they would look pretty awesome. I'm not gonna give it away just yet, because I suppose he will want to do the honors himself. But he has mentioned it to me, and it would be a pretty hard paint scheme to do, but if he does it well, it'll be amazing. And this is it. We are done with the Agrax. Yep. The Agrax. Oh, he mentioned about maybe. I suppose he is referring to the undead that he got from a Kickstarter, but I don't know if he has actually received them yet. Either way, I have asked for pictures, so as soon as he gets somewhere with the team, he will let us know. Really weird brush. And they are relatively inexpensive and easily available in arts and craft stores. I was really surprised. This is the shaded look. It did get a bit muddy, but not as much as if I would have applied the wash unthinned. I'm gonna call that a success-ish. Next I'll be going over the gray sash and the gray metallics with the Nuln Oil. Right, I might be mistaking as well. Because he has also been hoarding quite a bit of plastic models lately, and I've lost track of what he's currently working on. And he is somehow able to paint an awful lot of them. Like he last stream he showed us some pictures of his Necromunda team, Necromunda gang. And it's like 2 weeks ago he was still building them. Oh yeah, you mean the shading? Yeah, okay. That's a possibility, and that is the original way that the shades were intended to be used, so, which is why the most common ones are Agrax Earth Shade and
So either Agrax Earthshade or Null Oil are the most common ones because black brownish and brown grayish are the most common darkeners, so to speak. And this is, they used to call them liquid talent because they just smeared all over it. Also, Army Painter had these huge cans of wash that they called dips, and you used to actually just take the model upside down, dunk it straight into the pot, and take it out and shake off the excess, the shading. But it's really thick and yeah, kinda. But it worked. It didn't really destroy the minis. Like, again, if you're batch painting 50 models at a time and you need to quickly give them a shade, that used to work, I suppose. Yeah. Well, why not? Also, the new contrast paints, of which you may have heard, they also work on the same principle. So you basically just go over heavily with the brush all over the place where you want paint to go. And it works as a shade, base color, and first level of highlight if you've made zenithal priming. So there are technical ways to get. Yeah, and also Itsanov did show some results with his experiments with the contrast paints, and they look pretty decent. And if you apply a little bit of hue here and there, yeah, but it still got across, I believe. Well, for sure, but it does work to some extent. Now, if I wanted to be a completely artist level, which I can't technically be even if I wanted to, I would just start with a color that matches the deepest recess and then build upwards. But A, that would take a million years to paint, even longer than I'm currently doing it, and it would require an awful lot of skill that I don't have. So, which is why I'm using these technical assistants. But as you'll see further down the line, there are some tips and tricks that you can use and get some neat results and effects. And I haven't gotten any of the contrast paints, but I don't really see a reason to use them. Simply because of the way I'm painting right now, it just doesn't, it's not needed. It won't help me in any way. So as you can see, Null Oil is black grayish, whereas Agrax is more brownish ish. We'll do the same thing again, apply a lot of water and just smear it all over the whatever this is, sash, cloak, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully getting the wash to pull into recesses without too much of a, without making too much of a puddle. Oh yeah, I think I've heard that one before. Yeah, it's essentially suit. Yeah. Thank you. That's for most 40k players, this will be news, as it is for me. Like, for instance, Reichland Flesh Shade didn't make sense to me until I got the human team and I understood that Reichland is, well, where humans essentially dwell, or something like that. Feel free to correct me. I'm not really that much a lore buff in any way. Yeah, so I got it somewhat right. Okay, it's also the richest one. And home of the Reichland Reavers. If we're taking the alternative Blood Bow route. These parts here I might redo with unthinned wash. Okay, but it's like a small neutral territory or something like that. Yeah. So they have independency. That's cool. Can you think of what the name is off the top of your head? Just because I got a bit curious on that. Emsum. Okay.
another reason why I'm covering all of the gray with the Nuln Oil, is because I don't really have that many grays ready, and this way I can use the base gray that I used for the base coat as a first highlight as well. So essentially I'm just trying to make my life a bit easier. Oh, don't worry about it, it's just because you were mentioning it and I get curious. And here on the lower parts I'll go undiluted, unthinned, because I want to emphasize the shade, because it is under the model and it is on the lower part of the model, and therefore should be darker than the rest. Hopefully I don't get it everywhere. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten it right here. Soak it up. There we go. Crisis avoided. Marienburg. Okay. Thank you. We'll go back to diluted or thinned or the silver metallics. And again, the reason I'm doing this is because I am not good at highlighting true metallics. And so if I murder their shine, it would be a bit easier for me to highlight back. It will make the edges stick out once I reapply a brighter silver. I'm not gonna let it pull anywhere. I just need it dulled down a little bit.
We fall into the sun, so wrap your arms around
Unfortunately, I can't quite tell which parts I went through already. And I did manage to skip the legs for some reason, because I am an airhead. But this is, as a whole, a pretty quick to do step. This is why I like to do it all in one go. On the cloth, that's supposed to be gray. I don't know if it's coming off as blue. This should be gray, and it will get lighter. So this was just, I will only keep the recesses in the color that that it currently has. Yeah, but then I had to, I would have had to play around to make this texture. If it was blue, I would have had to make it look different than this blue. So it would have been a different representation of a different texture with the same color, and that just requires, well, skill, which makes it difficult for me to do. But yeah, you're not wrong. The gray is a bit dull on this piece. I probably would have gone brown, but then it would have clashed with the fur. Yeah, that's a valid point either way. Trying to create different textures. Oh, red would have been too much of a contrast with the blue, and it would have drawn too much of still because red and blue are somewhat complementary, are contrasting colors, and red will naturally be more drawing. So if I put it here next to the rim of the cup, yeah, brave brown, yeah, get it, I get it. That's an option, yeah. That is a good idea, yeah. And then just darken it down with some Agrax to kill the shine. Yeah, that's good. I will do something along these lines on the straps, the leather straps, to make them pop out of the brown or the fur brown. Brave brown pants, yeah. Which will delineate them, separate the detail. And this will actually be the next step. Right after I finish up with the null oil here. choosing the color themes has always been a worry of mine, so I am actually more worried when I pick the color theme rather than excited, because I don't want to use too many colors and I don't want to use too many contrasting colors, and yet I want the mini to be still interesting to look at, and I am not good enough to play with a same color with just different shades in order to highlight different types of texture, which is the case that it would have been, for instance, if the braces and the sash were the same color. And so I have to consider a lot what I can actually pull off in terms of skill with what I want to see on the mini. And also I want it to be something that I haven't done before, and yet if I haven't done it, would I be able to pull it off and all that stuff. So. It's a whole process whenever I have to choose what to do. Probably the bravest choice I made was with the humans. That I decided to paint in the Space Wolves Grey Hunters color scheme, because they are more or less breaking each and every one of these things that I just said, because it has blue, it has red, it has yellow. It's a little bit of a clown color scheme, but since it is a somewhat approved color scheme in the community, I took the chance and went for it. Yeah. Also Deadpool. From more recent times. He made a similar joke. Or was it actually the exact same one? Right, so that's the null oil done. And I'll try to do something that never works, but I'll do it anyway. And that is reduce the exposure on the paint cam. That reduce. Yeah, no. Nope, doesn't work. It never works. I want it to be darker, like if you see like this and I go, yeah, this is the amount of exposure I want to have instead of this. Give it a chance to reset. But every time I do it manually, the screen starts to flicker.
It's annoying. Oh, I hope it does. Because I'm looking at a much smaller preview window, and the colors are a bit different when I preview it. And it gets me bothered every time. Yeah, I'm doing so. So from my point of view, when I'm painting here, I can see how it'll look. But I want to make this an adequate representation on the screen. And so I had to play around with white balance and exposure and all sorts of things that I know very little about. And to tell you the truth, on video, this guy looks better than in real life. I know. Yeah, definitely. Because for instance, if you look at it, so the skin in real life is actually a bit more pinkish than what you see here. So, colors, there is a bit of a mismatch. Yeah, well, that's the fun part, isn't it? Although on the Euroball, I didn't come across that many conversations on the models themselves or on the paint jobs. They were more focused on the game itself, which is understandable, of course. It's a competition for the game, but still, I was expecting a bit more talk about painting and modeling. Maybe this time it'll be different. Well, precisely, I think that the more casual ones would have a wider approach to the hobby, whereas the pro players would be... Oh yeah, but that's exactly it. So they are equally interested in both while not being more skilled in one or the other, whereas the pro players would be more focused on the game itself. Yeah, so did I. I tried to see if anyone would break, as in would crack to start a conversation on that topic, but actually only the guy from the podcast that Itsanif was listening to, he was the only one who actually shared a bit more about his painting. Oh, it depends on personal interest, I think. Because in the beginning, when you start, you like everything of it, and then little by little, you get focused more in either side, or equally, or stay equally invested in both. I think it's one of these personal things where to each his own, I guess.
But you're right, a bigger love for the hobby as a whole would mean that he would be more invested in both aspects. The same way that while you don't yourself paint, you still have a very clear idea of what you want your models to look as, and you do care about the level of painting that you receive as a service, even though you are personally more focused in the gameplay.
Change roles along the way. What's correct? I expect. I don't know. Have been for so long now. I know I'm not right anymore. I need you to know. I need to see these Mercedes.
Anyway, let's go back to putting some paint on plastic. And since I'll be painting smaller details this time, I won't be diluting or thinning the shade. This is going to be the Carroberg Crimson, whatever. The red wash. I'm always putting a little bit of water just to help the flow, but I'm not too much in this case. And I will go over the letter straps. I will go over all of the letter straps, as it will give them a more mahogany like feel. So it will still be brown, because it will show through the brown, it will show through the red. This is actually my favorite part about using washes. When I get to add a tint of color to the base coat. That being said, highlighting this from this point on will be a bitch. I would need to use an actual red in conjunction with a brown and still make it look homogeneous to what we are getting as a new base color after the tint. So building upward from that, pretty difficult, and yet I have to do it because it's a small detail, and if I want it to pop in any way, I have to bring some highlights to it, even for tabletop standard painting. which I am effectively doing. Now, I suppose it would be an option to highlight it first with browns all the way to wherever I want it to go, and then put the wash over. But what I found out this does is usually it kills a lot of the highlighting. So I have to actually highlight it to go very, very, very bright. And then bring it down with the wash. For instance, if you remember last stream, the enforcers, yeah, black and yellow colors. I can't tell if I really like the models or if I like them because of the color scheme. I just can't make my mind up, but I like them. I wish that they were the actual Arbites. But I'm hoping that GW will release separate Arbites. You know, with the classic Judge Dredd theme. Yeah, they're okay models. I'm not saying anything against them. They do look a bit plain, and this is why I'm wondering if this is if I like them just because they have been painted in a very cool way. Because black and yellow looks awesome. And I'm having some difficulties actually deciding. But they are cool. Overall, the way I see them, they are cool. And I will hope for actual Arbites at some point. Am I missing any leather straps? Nope, I think this guy only has them on his leg. But yeah, I think you can see that after applying the red wash, now we have a mahogany-like brown on the leather straps. And the very last wash I'm going to apply is Reichland Flesh. Yeah, actually, Flesh Shade. That's right. My tongue did not get as twisted as I thought. Pronouncing this. But I won't be using it for flesh. I will actually go over the golds with it. For the same reason that I did it with Nuln Oil on the silvers. Just to kill a little bit of the shine, so when I reapply the base, it will work as a highlight. And then I will go with a gold. And it'll probably suck because highlighting golds and silvers is hard to pull off. Just in case I don't make too much of a mess, I will thin it down quite a bit. And I'll just lightly go over the golds. And yeah, even though it doesn't look like it, this is actually a very, very deep gold. Although it looks rather copperish. I'm not comfortable with the brighter golds for some reason. They look tacked on when I put them on a mini. Like cheap. Whereas the copper and the darker golds have a more natural, well, more blendy look. It's better for me. But I did want bright golds for these models. And so I will give it a try. Oh yeah, it's a different color. It may look pretty similar on the recording, but it's a distinctly different shade. But yeah, as you mentioned it, I do realize on video it looks rather samey. But I promise it doesn't do so in real life. And the brighter gold will for sure enforce this separation.
Are we giving up? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
And it would also be quite amazing if I found a way to work with metallics that doesn't involve washes. Because if I use the wash, I then have to re-highlight with the base color and then add on top of the base color more. It just makes more work for me, and I kind of want to make it a bit more time efficient. Because I am already doing it as slow as a snail. I don't need make things harder on myself. Yeah. Both true metallics and non-metallic metals are a challenge to work with. They are a very particular kind of a challenge. And because they are shiny, they can make or break a model. Because they draw the eye to it, and if it doesn't look good, the whole model starts to look like shit. So it's kind of important, and it's difficult, and the only sort of saving grace for this is that I am applying a matte varnish over the whole thing anyway, which further brings down the shine of the metallic and makes it look like more like a normal color. And it sort of saves me. It's usually bad. That's getting there. A very slight discoloration, which is what I wanted. And if you're wondering why I didn't wash the blue or the flesh, I will, but at a later stage and in a bit of a different way. I think I did that, shot off the process on the other guys I managed to finish on stream. And although it is a perfectly normal, simple technique, it's something that I'm very proud of using. For sort of reinventing the hot water or the wheel yet again. So I really like talking about it. But it will come to that place and we'll talk about it again. The silver on the foot. Ah, yeah, because there was because it is more. There are more. How should I say? It's not as flat as the blades, and so the wash could pull into the recesses here and here, and it gave a good contrast and a good. Without killing the shine. Yeah, you're right. I didn't kill the shine here. And this is because I did thin down the wash. So if I applied the Nuln Oil straight from the pot, there would be no shine right now. And I wanted to keep a little bit of it and avoid too hard pooling. But yeah, if you like it, and if you said that, this is actually the effect that I was going for. So, good on me, I guess. Gold is a different matter, though. But we'll deal with it. We'll tackle it in its own right. Shiny and chrome. Yeah, and that's the base color, so it's actually a darker silver. It's lead belcher. And I'll be highlighting it with either rune steel or... oh god, what was it called? Iron Breaker, yeah. So Iron Breaker will be the highlight. And this was the base. Let me just put them side by side if you can see the difference. I don't think you can. But it's way too early for that. Well, they have flakes that glitter, and since I haven't shaken the pots, the glittery part separates from the medium that creates the paint. Oh yeah, you can. They actually do sort of sparkle. They're like tin foil that's been torn into very, very small pieces, and they stick together with the medium for the paint. Yeah, literally. This is how metallic paints are made. And with a little bit of pigment. So in the case of the silvers, it'd be gray. In the case of the gold, it'd be sort of tinfoil hats. Yeah. Tinfoil hats through a mincemeat shredder equals metallic paint pigment. And this is kind of what makes a good or a bad metallic paint, depending on the grain of the flakes. So finer flakes make for a better metallic paint, whereas thick, larger, that's like in the Citadel ones. So the ones that I'm using have pretty thick, pretty big flakes, and they're a bit harder to work with. But in order to avoid clumping of the small, if they are thinner, they tend to clump together and become unusable as a paint, which is why the mediums for metallics are more often than not alcohol based, so they can give a more concentrated dilution. Which, however, evaporates quickly, which means that if you open the pot one too many times, the paint dries out in the pot and it becomes useless. Yeah, as I mentioned, I really don't like the Citadel metallics, and so I've been looking into quite a little bit of theory behind how to make good paints with metallic stuff. And while not the most entertaining of topics, it just sort of came out. So while I'm smoking, I can prepare things for another coat of dry brush with the brightest brown. There it is. It even has some brown from last time. How are we doing on time, by the way? Oh, pretty well, actually. So I'll give it a light dry brush at
the top parts, so the thigh, the upper part of the chest here, the tail, the upper part of the back, the head, the ponytail, the beard. They'll get a bit of a dry brush. And then on the furthest possible points, I will apply a bit of extreme highlighting. So that'll be this lightest brown with an off-white, probably Screaming Skull or something along those lines. Which will hopefully be the end of the fur. Now, the last guy didn't turn out too well after this treatment, but I think I was just being sloppy with the last part. Or maybe this time it'd be better. Or worse, or the same. Yeah, something like that. And we will be applying the dandruff right about now. Now, actually, the issue was with the extreme highlight that I applied normally, as I didn't apply it at the right places, and it just looked weird. But if I go just light enough with the dry brushing, it shouldn't create the chalky texture, and therefore the dandruff effect should be avoided. But there's only one way to find out. Sort of decent. I suppose, yeah. Imagine head and shoulders all the way down to your waist, and then the tail. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. There is a bit of a chalkiness here, but it's not too bad. On the tail. Just on the tip. overdid it on the tail. I can never tell if I'm taking too much paint off the brush or if I'm leaving too much. Never I dry brush.
Black spires in the city sky, they shimmer and shine tonight. Act wise and electric eyes.
Here I'll just go with a motion from up to down because I just want to use it as a top highlight. And try not to get too much paint spread all around. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad over the flesh tone, even if there is any of it going over. Oh, have they released more? Are they still 3D renders or are they actual models, like the printer cast, the 3D printer casts that they use as examples? Oh, nice. Oh, they got the rotters out. Ah, cool. Cool. I'll take a look at them, although I'm not hunting for Nurgle right now. I will get to them at some point. But it's nice to hear that the rotters, at least some of them, have a bit more character, because they more often than not make them sort of just zombie-like, which they should be, but like as you said, no imagination. No, okay, so less and less. I can't remember which team it was. It was one of the undead teams, but I can't remember which was the manufacturer. They made zombies for each race. They had a dwarf zombie, an elven zombie, a human zombie, and I think that was a neat idea. Oh, this is way too heavy. Yeah, well. It's a bit too hard. Oh, Grebo. Yeah, well, not surprising. What did you think of the Andy Davo and Zunk models? I saw that Itzanif posted them. Oh, Impact. I don't know why I don't like Impact for some reason. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, they tried to give him both a beard and a tusk, being an orc, and it ended up being a bit weird. But overall, as a mini, I prefer his sculpt than Andy Davo's.
Because there is an actual resemblance for the orc. Still though, it's a neat idea and pretty sweet of the Grebo guys to... Yeah, it's just a dark elf with a more childlike head, I think. Are you a fan of Hellboy? Something that... because I saw Mantic just posting some stuff. And that got me thinking of Hellboy. Are you a fan of the comics or the movie? The movies? Because Mantic have now released a board game. Exactly, yeah, that's what made me remember that. And also there will be a new movie. I don't know if it came out yet, but it doesn't really look too inspiring, to tell you the truth. The board game looks fun though. Yeah, the older movies were nice, especially the first one. I really dig the first one. And the board game looks pretty fun and cool to play. Did it come out, or are you saying that based on the trailer? Because I wasn't sold on the trailer either, if that's the case. Oh, so it's out. Yeah, even from the start it didn't look good. It felt like it was gonna suck badly. Because I have a fondness for the character and the whole setting. I really like them, and there are some pretty cool web comics. With a little bit of animation here and there. But once I saw the new movie, no. Well, the trailer for the new movie, I haven't seen it yet. I will at some point, but... Oh, wow. A black girl. Well, I guess they are expanding the cast a bit frivolously. Because in the movies, again, they missed out some characters, but... I really wished that it would be good, but... oh well. Yeah, well, I'll give it a shot. If I come by it. I won't be looking for it, if that makes sense. If I see it, I see it. If I didn't, I didn't. Oh, wow, really? And he's quite a main character, too. Yeah. I don't know. Not really a shot of him. Shit. Yeah, I think there was a medium type character in the comics. It was a long time ago, like when the movie actually, the first movie when it came out, I started looking through whatever I can find on the internet. Including some of the actual... What? No, that's new. The cat is new. Right, so I'm just going to apply some stream highlights here and there. They won't pop too much. We'll give a little bit. The whole thing. A jaguar. Oh, don't worry about the spoilers. I mean, again, this is not something I would be looking too forward to seeing. But if it comes my way, I will, just for the fun of it. Yeah, that's one of the strengths of the whole franchise. Are the villains. I'm glad they didn't screw that up. At the very least. With nice tricks. Okay. Now you're getting me all wired up to go watch it. I think, yeah, he is overpowered. That's true, but I think he works off a little bit like One Punch Man, in that it's not really the yeah. There is some sort of charm to that in some way. Because he's a fun character, like he's not like Superman where you also can make the argument that he is essentially overpowered. But he's just boring. Whereas Hellboy has some charm to his character and sort of suits him. But I see what you mean, yeah. And in the comics, it's actually even worse. Like, he's even more indomitable than in the movies.
The synergy of man and machine, the symmetry and connections between the power and the pace, dominate your space, get out and wow, your rivalry's clean through man and machine.
Yeah, in that the old saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it would be. So the worry isn't if whether or not they would win, but whether or not they would remain on the side of the good guys. But indeed, creating a character that is like that and being able to create a compelling story around him is a testament of good screenwriting. That is, if the story is in itself compelling. As there are cases where it very much isn't. Yeah. But he isn't as invulnerable, technically, as the other guys that we've mentioned. But he does, yeah, and I don't know how he stacks up to his comic book persona as opposed to the movies that we've seen. But that naivete that he gives out, that old-timey naivete is actually pretty charming, and it works to his favor. But yeah, while being technically a dull character, he's actually has some charm to him.
Tell it to the page. Ooh, we never let it fade. And we try.
Yeah, I think that's the third one. Exactly. Coincidentally, I do really like orcs in all shapes and sizes, in all sorts of fiction. Which is why I have special plans for them for Blood Bowl. I'm just gonna say this once more. For some reason, this is a great brush. Even though it's hooking a little bit, it still keeps the tip and and the paint flow from it is very good. Very good soft detailing brush. Which makes me wonder why I get all of those super expensive brushes for detailing that I'll probably never use. But you live and you learn. Maybe someday I will reach a skill level would allow me to use both types, but for the time being, this one seems to be doing just fine. Alright. What the hell would that be? Purple simple-minded superhero. Oh. Nope, I'm drawing a blank. That is the pedicure and the manicure done. No, unfortunately. Are you sure it's purple and not blue? Because I think of the tick, but I don't think this is what you mean. Social worker. Yeah. I can't remember. I mean, I don't really... it feels like something completely new. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. We got this, we got that. Oh. Yeah, the Tick is an actual superhero, yeah. Goblin-like crashes. No, it doesn't ring a bell. Ah, the chick was a... The purple is throwing me off.
Well, hopefully this will do. So next step will be some very fine detailing. So I will go over the teeth and the eyes. Especially the eyes. Absolutely no idea if I'll be able to make them. But I'll try anyway. Hopefully this will be a small enough brush. I want to avoid the one I'm usually using. Because it's way too small and the paint dries on it almost instantaneously. Was it Captain Caveman? But he wasn't purple. Keep thinking about that. Oh, okay. Was it an MTV special or something? Maybe if you can remember where you watched it, like what media, that would help. Because I'm thinking of Cartoon Network or Fox Kids stuff. So if it's a dark one, it's doubtfully on one of these channels. Simply M doesn't ring a bell. Alright. I will take a look for it. So. As I'm currently in a weird animation mood. I've been watching the new Matt Groening series, Disenchantment. It's kind of like The Simpsons and Futurama, but in a fantasy setting. The Max. Let's see what this is. I can find it. I have not seen that. That's the first time I hear of it. Nice. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll actually take a look at it tonight. And yeah, it was on MTV. Mid-90s. 13-episode animated series. Cool. Oh, that's nice. Cool, cool. Yeah, I'll watch that as I upload the video. As I upload the stream. Nice. Yeah, and it's all around, so I'll be able to rewatch it. Well, watch it for the first time. Okay, well, can we paint the eyes and teeth of this guy? Who knows? Okay, that does it for the teeth. Meanwhile, we're listening to some song where apparently Gordon Freeman saved the singer's life. Which doesn't sound the most likely. Considering his mode of operation. I am just slapping it large on the eye, but then I will take it back with the base coat. It's easier that way and it will look more natural when I close it down. And for that I would need
baste it with the flesh. We get rid of the browns. What the hell are you eating flesh to? What are you doing here? Oh, I know what you're doing. I closed off one of the eyes a bit too much. I'll have to reapply the white. Well, I'm not using quite pure white, I'm using Screaming Skull. I'm always super nervous about this part. And in this case I have the added challenge that the eyes are in a grimace. And whenever painting such small details, you actually want to use the stone is brown. The stone is just brown and I left it like that, so when I apply the mud texture paint, it would fit better. It will cover up easier over this. It's not gold. Again, this is a trick of the video. But yeah, when I look through the preview, it does seem that the golds and the brown are very, very similar. I will pop the gold out with the brighter golds when I apply the highlights. And this one is again just brown, and it'll cover up with... oh, where was it? Where was it? I guess I moved it. The texture paint. Right, well, supposedly we can work with this. Go for the pupils. Might be able to get the pupils with this. Maybe. I'm gonna try. If not, I'll just repaint them. And it already started to hook. Great. Well, nobody breathe. Going in. Holy shit. Well, I got one right. Yeah, one eye is good, the other one isn't, but we'll just repaint it real quickly. I haven't seen it, but I suppose it had its moments. Now, eyes are a notorious bane, and seeing as how people actually put sparkles on eyes and do all sorts of crazy stuff to the eyes, makes me go mental with frustration. But yeah, when you think about it, I think Flames of War are a smaller scale, like they're 28s or 25s for the infantry. I don't think they're 15s, but you can imagine the horror. Yeah, 15 mil, that's brutal. Why would you even try to paint eyes on that? Here we start struggling with the paint and the brush. If we have a brush that can make a point thin enough to make the eyes, and the paint dries up. That'll do. It just dripped a bit down, so I'll clean up. Real quickly. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. He's the tiniest bit cross-eyed, but let's just say he's been hit in the head too many times and move on. I probably wouldn't be able to get it any better after multiple attempts. Just make sure. Cover up. Flash. Bit of white on the nose. Yeah. There he goes. Dude has a face now. Now, Big in Space, here is a question for you. Would you like your minis to have eyebrows? Or just the eyes? What is your personal preference on the matter? Well, because as you can see, this guy has very visibly sculpted eyebrows. And so it is actually a relevant question. Yeah, this guy just tends to run, I guess. Yeah, you know what, I'll give him eyebrows. Why not? Because I've seen topics raised in the forums, and by the forums I mean Facebook. And since they would be... Oh yeah, no. Not a chance to use dry brush here. They are, yeah, they're sculpted in this case. And also it'd be easy to do them because I'll need to do them brown, and even if they don't come up too well, they will sort of meld with the skin, and it won't pop out as bad as, for instance, if I gave them black hair. So if I get them wrong, it wouldn't be so bad. It was horrible with the witch elves. I wanted to give them pencil drawn eyebrows, and let's just say that they did end up looking like witches. Now, where does the forehead begin? Yeah, you almost can't even tell that I'm drawing them on. Oh yeah. Or should I make them? Well, let's make them pop out. Whatever. Whatever. I am exhilarated because the eyes came out good. And now I can't wait to do something stupid and mock it up. That was in fact a fly that just flew into the mini. So the brows won't be super visible, which is exactly what we're going for. They're there, so if you look closely, you'll see them. But from afar, they don't. They're not there. Okay, that'll be good. This will, however, not be the case with this black-haired guy. His eyebrows will stick out like a sore thumb. But
that will be for a very long time not our concern. Whew. Okay, well, that was the most stressful part out of the way. I won't paint the lips no matter what you tell me. Yeah, and I think this will be more or less it. They just have another smoke, and I'll be off to watch the Max. Next time, I will be painting the flesh, and for that I would need an entire stream, probably, maybe even more. Because the flesh will be done in how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 layers over the base coat. So there will be quite a bit of playing around with it, and I would like to have a full stream to let it soak in. Yeah, now fur is done, washing is done on the metallics, and the sash should be easy enough to highlight. Yeah, we're going along. That being said, this is the end of July. Meaning I should have been doing the final touch-ups on both these guys, and they are far from ready. So I am quite behind on my schedule, and I hope I'll make up the time. We'll see when that'll happen. Put you here, dude. Oh yeah, The Witcher is finally coming out. The TV series. I think they said end of October or something like that. So there is something to be excited about. Yeah. Well, I'll be excited. I don't really have that many things to be excited about, so I'll use the opportunity. What the hell? Why not? If he disappoints, so be it. Yeah. I don't actually know what most of the team is like. I just know that the writer will be a screenwriting supervisor, so he will try and manage the story. But whether or not it's actually filmed by Polish people, I don't know. Still, we'll see. Find it. What? Oh, the Max. I already found the TV series. I'll be watching them tonight. Oh, you're talking about the strips for yeah, yeah. For painting eyes. Again, I'm a bit slow. Yes. Yes. Yeah, good one. Against painting eyes in small scale miniatures. Totally agree. Totally agree. Is the fact that the guy himself is with some weird googly eyes. Although if I could paint eyes like that on a miniature, I'd be more than happy. Not gonna lie. I usually go for the line method instead of the dot. The second one. D-Day. Although it's a sick idea to think about it. Go to the actual beach of Normandy to play out D-Day with miniatures. And an insanely large crab to boot. As usual, yeah. This is, per definition, the most common involvement of the fair sex in our hobby, for some reason. Alright, well, that's it for me, guys, for today. I dare say we did some good progress here. Oh, okay, before that, we have one more deck. Panther. Don't get carried away with proxies. Yeah. So they're all feline, so those distinguishing them wouldn't be the easiest thing. Yeah, using a panther for a panther tank is a bit much. I'd agree. Well, thank you, Dig in Space, for joining me, for sticking around for, well, the entire stream. And thanks to all who have lurked in the background, and to all who will watch the video on the YouTube. In the meantime, I will send you off with my usual words. So, love what you do what you love, and this will be me, Bachicolio, signing off for today. Bye bye. And have a nice evening as well, while you're at it.